specific over there also. Can you just say that one of the block of Tripura district, or one of the city per se, or maybe one of the districts?
एक्चुअली सर मैं ना जोमेटो और स्विगी पे ही टारगेट किया है मैंने।
चलेगा, ओके। सो
हाँ
स्विगी,
तो
हाँ, और गिग वर्कर्स, स्विगी, जोमेटो और डंजो, विचेवर, ब्लिंकिट, कोई भी हो सकता है। सो व्हाट यू कैन डू, यू कैन जस्ट से दैट कौन से डिस्ट्रिक्ट में करना है तुम्हें।
एक्चुअली मैं अगरतला पे ही करूंगा क्योंकि वो अवेलेबिलिटी सिर्फ अगरतला पे ही है। और जो
ग्रेट।
अगरतला पे है उसका मोस्टली दे आर माइग्रेंट वर्कर एक्चुअली। तो इसके
ओके।
लिए एक्चुअली मैंने आईसीसीएसआर के लिए एक मतलब डाटा कलेक्ट किया था कुछ महीने पहले गीग वर्किंग के लिए। तो वहाँ पे मतलब मैंने भी वो डिलीवरी किया है
ओके।
थोड़ा बहुत
ओके। ओके।
फॉर
सो
दैट।
यहाँ पे क्या करना है ना, एजुकेशन पॉलिसी गैप्स एंड इट्स इफेक्ट ऑन पॉलिटिकल इकोनॉमी ऑफ इनफॉर्मली अमॉन्ग्स्ट गिग वर्कर्स। ये भी थोड़ा सा बहुत अच्छे से साउंड नहीं हो रहा है, ये बहुत ज्यादा काइंड ऑफ लाइक इट लुक्स समथिंग लिटिल वेग। सो यहाँ क्या करो ना तुम, जब मैं रिसर्च क्वेश्चंस पे आ जाऊंगा उसके बाद में थोड़ा सा क्लैरिटी हो जाएगा। बट यहाँ पे फिलहाल के लिए यू जस्ट ऐड इन अगरतला।
ओके ओके।
ठीक है, सो दैट गिव्स अ लिटिल मोर स्पेसिफिसिटी इन दिस
स्पेसिफिक
रिसर्च। ओके।
एक्चुअली सर और एक यहाँ पे और एक चीज है एक्चुअली। जो मेरा जो को पार्टनर है हम एक्चुअली सैंपल पे एक्चुअली मैम ने हम फर्स्ट क्लास में मैम के साथ हम बात कर रहे थे तो मैम मतलब टॉपिक लेके। तो
ओके।
उसके बाद मैम ने भी बोला कि तुम लोग वो कर सकते हो कि दो जगह का एनालिसिस कर सकते हो
हाँ हाँ,
कि।
ऐसे कुछ तो कंपेरेटिव स्टडी कर सकते हो आपकी, यहाँ पे
हाँ
क्या
हाँ हाँ
सिचुएशन है वहाँ पे क्या सिचुएशन। सो इफ योर को पार्टनर स्टेज इन सम अदर डिस्ट्रिक्ट और सम अदर
हाँ
सिटी,
हाँ हाँ।
सो वहाँ का वो कर सकता है, और एंड यू कैन डू इन योर ओन सिटी लाइक वेर एवर
या
यू आर स्टेइंग, है ना।
या
सो
सर।
ऐसे कुछ यू कैन डू अ कंपेरेटिव स्टडी ऑल्सो, दैट इज ऑल्सो पॉसिबल। बट इन दैट केस अगेन यू हैव टू मेंशन द, आई मीन काइंड ऑफ इन दैट केस देन यू से वो दोनों सिटीज कहाँ पे हैं जहाँ पे करना चाहते हो
वो
आप लोग।
एक्चुअली शी इज फ्रॉम मैं एक्चुअली वो शायद सेंट्रल इंडिया से ही है।
अच्छा।
यूपी
तो
यूपी।
हाँ, तो सी इंडिया ये शब्द डालना या फिर कोई किसी स्टेट का शब्द डालना है ना, तो दैट आई मीन उसके लिए बहुत ज्यादा सैंपल भी लगता है। ओके। सो
हाँ
आपको क्या
मतलब
करना है ना, आपको
हाँ
क्या करना है ना कि जहाँ पे अगर करना है कंपेरेटिव स्टडी, तो फिर स्विगी एंड जोमेटो में कर दो, या ब्लिंकिट एंड जोमेटो में कर दो। ऐसे कुछ कर सकते हो, सिटी वाइज कंपैरिजन करना है तो फिर देन इन दैट केस यू कैन जस्ट लाइक डू इट इन वन स्टेट ओनली, क्योंकि वो
या
कंपैरिजन।
बट हम लोगों ने एक्चुअली सोचा था कि ऑलमोस्ट एटलीस्ट 30-50 करके मतलब ऑलमोस्ट 100 सैंपल दो जगह
बहुत,
का मिला के लेंगे।
हाँ बहुत कम हो जाएगा फिर भी, क्योंकि वो आप पूरे डिस्ट्रिक्ट, पूरे स्टेट को जनरलाइज नहीं कर सकते उस स्टडी के बेस,
ओके ओके ओके।
है ना। सो बिकॉज ऑफ लाइक लेस सैंपल अगर होता है ना, तो जनरलाइजेबिलिटी का क्वेश्चन आता है। ठीक है। सो उसके बारे में हम
हाँ
लोग
हाँ।
बाद में लाइक वन टू वन बात करेंगे, लेकिन फिलहाल के लिए क्या करो ना, बाद में रिसर्च क्वेश्चन में और ज्यादा क्लियर हो जाएगा तुम्हें जब मैं बताऊंगा अभी।
हम्म।
सो या सुबह, एज ऑफ नाउ यू गॉट माय पॉइंट, राइट।
या श्योर यस सर।
Yes, okay. Then, Sheetal, you have written strengthening foundational literacy and numeracy amongst disadvantaged groups.
यस सर।
Here, what do you want to say? Like, you wanted to do this program for the disadvantaged groups?
सर बेसिकली आई वांटेड टू वर्क ऑन कि कैसे हम फाउंडेशनल लिटरेसी न्यूमेरेसी को स्ट्रेंथन कर सकते हैं, एनहांस कर
बढ़ा
सकते
सकते
हैं।
हैं। हाँ, तो
क्योंकि
दैट
मैंने
कैन
अभी
बी।
एक रिपोर्ट, हाँ अभी मैंने रिपोर्ट पढ़ी है तो उसमें ये चीजें निकल के आई हैं कि जितना हमने एनईबी 2020 के टाइम पे अपना टारगेट रखा था कि बाय द एंड ऑफ 2025 हमें इतना अचीव कर लेना है, तो वो उतना अचीव नहीं हो पा रहा है। उसके पीछे बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स हैं।
यस। यस। सो
हाँ।
इसमें क्या हो रहा है ना, फिर आप अगर फिलहाल यही टॉपिक अगर रखोगे ना, तो ये कोई आपको कोई प्रोग्राम इनिशिएट करना है उसका टॉपिक लग रहा है ये, शीतल। आपको पहले स्टडी
हम्म
करना है, आपको पहले रिसर्च करना है, राइट।
हम्म
तो फर्स्ट यू विल हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड द गैप्स
हम्म
और मैग्नीट्यूड्स, फॉर एग्जांपल उसके क्या क्या परिणाम हो सकते हैं। सो गैप्स एंड मैग्नीट्यूड्स अमॉन्स्ट लाइक ऑफ इलिटरेसी एंड न्यूमरेसी अमॉन्ग्स्ट डिसएडवांटेज ग्रुप्स। ये ना होने के मतलब लिटरेसी एंड न्यूमरेसी ना होने की वजह से क्या क्या उनमें उनके ऊपर परिणाम हो रहे हैं। ये जानना है ना पहले आपको।
ये सर, हाँ पहले गैप्स और ये सब जानेंगे, उसके बाद
हाँ
में
हाँ।
हम कैसे
सो
उसको और
आपको
स्ट्रेंथन
पहले
कर
क्या करना
सकते
है,
हैं।
रिसर्च का टॉपिक जो है ना, यू विल हैव टू फ्रेम इन सच अ वे दैट लाइक अ स्टडी ऑन gaps of gaps in literacy and numeracy amongst disadvantaged groups in आपका स्टेट कौन सा है या आपका डिस्ट्रिक्ट कौन सा है?
सर अभी तो फिलहाल मैं राजस्थान में हूँ, लेकिन बेसिकली आई एम फ्रॉम दिल्ली।
ओके, बट वेयर डू यू वांटेड टू कंडक्ट दिस स्टडी?
सर अभी मुझे वापस दिल्ली जाना है, एज मैंने थीसिस अपना सबमिट कर दिया है, तो दिल्ली में ही हम कोई इकोनॉमिकली वीकर सेक्शन देख सकते हैं, या
हाँ, तो
सोशली
आपको दिल्ली,
मार्जिनलाइज्ड ग्रुप।
दिल्ली is also one of the bigger cities, right? It is like a state only.
हम्म
So in that case, within
हम्म।
Delhi also you can find out like one small location.
यस सर, यस सर।
कोई एक एरिया पकड़ो और वहां पे ऐसे टॉपिक
हम्म।
को फ्रेम करना है। ये टॉपिक आपका टॉपिक रिसर्च टॉपिक नहीं है बाय द वे शीतल।
ओके सर।
रिसर्च टॉपिक जो मैंने बताया है ना, उसके अकॉर्डिंगली, आई मीन वही, वैसा ही नहीं, लेकिन उसके अकॉर्डिंगली यू कैन फ्रेम अनदर रिसर्च टॉपिक wherein you can also mention the name of that particular location where you wanted to do a study. ठीक है?
ओके सर।
So this change you will have to make. Then Disha,
ओके सर।
Disha, your study is on a study on educational measures required in government schools. This is
Yes.
perfect, Disha.
Okay, sir.
ओके, इसमें सिर्फ क्या करना है, आपका एक पॉइंट मिसिंग है। आप बताइए कौन सा है मिसिंग पॉइंट?
अ, किस जगह पे करना है वो?
एग्जैक्टली एग्जैक्टली। सो यहाँ पे सिर्फ डाल दो आपके कोई डिस्ट्रिक्ट है या कोई डिस्ट्रिक्ट में भी बहुत बड़ा हो जाएगा। कौन से, आप कहाँ से है दिशा?
मैं रिसर्च तो मतलब बैंगलोर सारजापुरा एक ये वहाँ पे करने वाली हूँ। और मेरे जो पार्टनर है वो पंजाब में से है, तो उनको भी मतलब उनका जो एरिया है उसमें वो करने वाले हैं। फिर हम दोनों कंपैरिजन करके एक स्टडी बनाएंगे।
ऑल राइट, सो लेट हर, योर पार्टनर, whoever is, let he or
शैंकी।
who is, I mean he or she.
ही शैंकी।
Okay, so let him decide, like let him select one of the districts, and you can also select one of the areas, like for example, not the district also, one of the, like for example, one block also can be selected.
ओके सर।
Getting my point, Disha? So you just have to mention the, like location name, and
यस
both
सर।
of you are working on the same study, or you will be conducting different studies?
Like we'll just make some objectives on that, we'll make study.
Okay, so maybe you should write in such a way that like compare. Why do you wanted to do a comparative analysis only? Why don't you just focus on one particular location?
Because we are belonging to different
That's
locations.
fine. No, that's fine. Like you can say you can possibly work on Punjab or maybe Bangalore, nearby Bangalore, whichever place you have mentioned. कंपेरेटिव एनालिसिस जो है ना, वो बहुत बड़ा सैंपल लेके बहुत बड़ा ये करके वो करने के लिए ठीक ठाक है, लेकिन विद दिस स्मॉल साइज ऑफ सैंपल, नो, यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू गेट लॉट ऑफ इंसाइट्स इन इट। उससे
Ini
अच्छा,
Dr. Pradeep,
आई एम सॉरी।
Dr. Pradeep, these students are from different cities and different states. So
ओके,
it's not always a comparative study, but it's more of a understanding that the reality of the geographical area. That's all. So
अच्छा
we
अच्छा,
will not go for comparative study.
हाँ, दैट्स व्हाट आई एम सेइंग, व्हाई डू वी लाइक, हाँ, व्हाई आर वी
Yeah,
डूइंग
because
कंपैरिजन?
if I give an example, like we did a study for sanitation workers women. So there was whole Mumbai, then suburban Mumbai, then Nagpur. So
या,
we just understood the survey kind of this. These are the problems they are facing. So it is not a comparative kind of.
okay, okay, fine, fine. So in that case, like you can decide some sort of sample in those particular localities, and then you can probably frame the topic accordingly. ठीक है? All right. So then you don't call it Disha, maybe comparative study, but yeah, as Himangi ma'am said, that definitely you should definitely get to the field. I mean, wherever you are from or wherever you wanted to conduct the study, you can definitely get into those areas and do empirical study over there. ठीक है, चलेगा। हम लोग आगे चलते हैं। अकाउंटेबिलिटी ऑन फेक न्यूज, even this is also not a research topic, Utkarsha. You can definitely refer my last class and whatever discussion that we have had as of now.
Okay,
Accordingly, you can frame your topic, Utkarsha. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes. I'll share my PPTs and then we can move on the next point of discussion that we are having. You all can just tell me whether my slides are visible.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Visible, right? Okay. Okay. So today we will be discussing some of the key steps in conducting research. So of course, forming a problem statement, then objectives, research questions, and of course hypothesis also we will be discussing in this particular session. So once you decide that what you wanted to study, or once you decide what exactly would be your research topic, definitely, like vice versa. I mean, sometimes you get a research question in your mind and then you frame the topic, right? Or sometimes you get just understand the problem somewhere there and then you accordingly you can frame the research questions. Okay, so that goes vis-a-vis. Okay, so in your cases, for example, whatever studies that I have read as of now, you got something in your mind that like whether there are gaps in educational measures or educational outcomes of outcomes of government schools. Of course, Disha, you must have got some kind of question in your mind, right? That कि government schools में कोई तो problem है, some problem in government schools that requires some measures, right? So you must have got some kind of something must have strike to your mind, right? So likewise, research questions जो है वो हमें हमेशा प्रॉब्लम जब होता है तो वो प्रॉब्लम क्यों होता है, उसके पीछे क्या कारण हो सकता है, व्हाट कुड बी द पोटेंशियल measures measure to solve those problems. So these kind of questions also comes in our mind, right? So likewise, you will have to frame your research questions. So I'll just read out the slide and then accordingly I can give you some examples. So basically, research question is a specific inquiry which the research seeks to provide a response to. So whenever you wanted to do one study, you'll have to frame certain research questions of which you can get a response from the field, from the respondents, or maybe from the participants of your study. So whoever is your sampled participant, there you go with certain number of questions. They are all specific questions, but while framing your research proposal or while framing your research idea, you need to have at least some specific or some kind of broad research questions, not specific, broad research questions that you wanted to explore, or that you wanted to get responses from the respondents or from the field wherever you are visiting. Okay? So basically, it resides at the core of systematic investigation and it helps you to clearly define a path for the research process. So research questions actually, frame your study. I mean, systematically, they help you to systematically conduct your study. They actually help you to clearly define the path of your research process. So in that case, once you frame the research topic, you should frame at least 4 to 5 key research questions that can lead your research study, or that can systematically help you to investigate your research. Okay? So research question is usually the first step in research process. Basically, it is a primary interrogation point of your research, and it sets the pace of your work. So when you frame research questions, it actually helps you to proceed further. Okay? A research question also focuses on research, determines methodology, like whatever methodology that you'll have to find out, or you'll have to use. Based on the research question, you can definitely decide the methodology of your research. Okay? And also accordingly the hypothesis. These are all stages, guides all. All the research questions definitely guides all the stages of inquiry, analysis, and reporting as well. With the right research questions, you'll be able to gather useful information for your research. So thereby, first step is framing your research topic. Second one is framing your research, right research questions, perfect research questions which are actually matching to your research topic. Okay, so likewise you'll have to frame the research questions. Then the research questions should be backed by theories. So theories means what? You are reading so many research articles, right? You must be reading so many research papers or whatever literature that is available. So definitely there should be some theoretical backup. Then should focus on research gaps, linkages, or if there are any puzzles, if there are any kind of whatever, like some kind of areas where there are some kind of confusions. Okay, so that kind of focus should be there in your research questions. Okay, should use concepts and variables. So in the broad research questions, when you are framing research, 4-5 research questions, it should be like a conceptual idea of your research. It should be broad. It should not be just the small variable. कि जैसे आपका ये क्या है, मतलब आपका सरने, what is it, like what is your caste, what is your religion, what is your gender, ऐसे वेरिएबल्स नहीं होने चाहिए. आपका रिसर्च क्वेश्चन जो है वो ब्रॉड होना चाहिए. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल किसी एक दिल्ली का कोई लोकेशन ले लो. दिल्ली के किसी लोकेशन में उस एरिया के जो पॉपुलेशन है उसका सोशियो इकोनॉमिक प्रॉब्लम क्या है. What are the challenges, socio-economic challenges faced by the people in Delhi? This can be the broad area, right? Within that socio-economic, there can be so many variables, right? So further, your research questions should provide base for the rationale of the study. In the later stage, you definitely have to rationalize your study. आपको वो स्टडी क्यों करना है, या उसके पीछे क्या तार्किक रीजन है. What is the rationale behind your study? That also you will have to definitely write in your research project, right? So thereby, your research questions should provide base for the rationale of the study. Okay? And then it should have directional orientation in case of quantitative studies, and non-directional orientation in case of qualitative study. So now in the methodology, there are two primary methodologies. One is qualitative and the second one is quantitative. Okay? So in the quantitative research, there should be directional orientation in your research questions. And in terms of qualitative research, because qualitative research is usually subjective research, usually very personal, person-centric research, right? So in that case, there cannot be, there should not be there should not be the fixed direction, but at least some kind of outline should be there in your research questions. ठीक है? As of now, ये clear हो रहा है? May I get some responses?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So research questions, अगर आप, like for example, if I may ask you, one of you, कोई भी, आप अपने स्टडी का कोई रिसर्च क्वेश्चन बता सकते हैं अभी, एक या दो रिसर्च क्वेश्चंस जो आपके माइंड में आ रहे हैं अभी ये पढ़ते पढ़ते.
Yes, sir.
Sir, can
Sir,
I?
this is Banani.
Yeah, who is saying?
Sir, this is Banani.
Yeah, Banani, can you please tell me?
Yes, sir. So me and Rahini is doing a research work on a qualitative study on
Okay.
school dropout among Dalit students in Bhandara.
Great.
So, so this is my topic name.
Okay.
And I have found few questions. Like first question is like, what are the structural and socio-economic determinants of school dropouts among the Dalit students in rural Bhandara?
This is perfect. This is very good, Banani. Yeah.
Rohini is from Bhandara district itself. So
Great.
based on that and based on her experiences, we have framed these questions.
Very good.
So,
Very good. This is how the question should be framed.
Yes, sir. Like,
ठीक है? हाँ.
yes, sir.
you want to read
sir,
the another question as well?
yes, sir. Like
Yeah.
what ma'am have said that we need to find 5 questions and 5 objectives
Correct.
tentatively, and after that we will choose 3 objectives, like which will be more appropriate for my research. So
Perfect. This
my
is how it
second
should
question
be.
is, yes, sir. Like which government schemes are operational in Bhandara with potential impact on Dalit student retention, and what are their design features?
Very good. Yes. This is also
Yes, sir.
perfect. Yeah. So this is how I suggest all the other students also, they also must have definitely framed their research questions. But as Banani said, then this is what I wanted your research questions. This is how the research questions should be, should like sound like. So it should sound like a concept than variables. What Banani said, no, structural and what is that first objective, Banani?
Yes, sir. The first objective question was the structural and socio-economic determinants.
Exactly, structural and socio-economic determinants. So here it is a kind of broad concept that she is talking about. It is not just the small variable. Okay, so this kind of broad kind of aspect should come in your research question, so that accordingly you can definitely frame your research questions later on, and definitely the broad research question will definitely guide your study to go ahead. Okay. Anyone else who would like to just read out their research question if they have framed? Fine. But you understood, right? Disha,
Yes, sir.
Sheetal,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Subha. Okay, I'm assuming that like it is being clear to all of you. Fatima, Swarupa, Shubham. At least you can just say thumb also, no problem.
Sir, hello, sir.
I think you all are responding here as well in the chat box. Yes, fine. Thank you. Okay, so to move forward, research objectives now. Now, research objectives describe what we expect to achieve by a project. I mean, by your research project, no, what exactly you wanted to achieve. So in that case, as I said, here also you'll have to be very specific. The objective should be definitely based on your research topic, which should also link to your research questions, and then you should frame your objective. So the research objectives may be linked with the hypothesis or used as a statement of purpose in a study that does not have a hypothesis. There is no need of like always linking with the objective hypothesis, but in case if you wanted to link that with the objective hypothesis, that is also possible. But definitely it should be like a it should sound like a statement of purpose of your study. It should describe what exactly you wanted to achieve from this particular research. Okay, so you'll have to understand it should not be so vague also, it should not be so unclear as well. It should definitely have a specificity, what exactly you wanted to achieve from that particular research that you have framed. Okay, research objectives should give clarity as to what you want to study. It should be so clear that what exactly you wanted to study. It is a statement of research objective. A statement of research objective can serve to guide the activities of your research. So basically, that 1 or 2 line statement, no, that should definitely guide your like the further activities of your research. Okay? So that is how the research objective should be framed. It should definitely be linked with the research questions. There should be linkage between, as I said, there should be absolute linkage of your any of your steps of your research should be linkage right from your title of your study, research objectives, research questions, objectives, then hypothesis, then again based on your all these things, there should be methodological linkages as well, whether that particular methodology match to your research objectives or research questions or research topic or not. That also has to be very, very clear, and you should be able to link that with each other. Okay? So your research objectives should be linked with the research questions. Then should use variables than concepts. Again, here you'll have to be little more specific, little more clear that what exactly you wanted to study. Again, like it also differs in different types of studies again. So here sometimes you can use concepts, sometimes you can use variables also. Should provide the base for intent, purpose of the study. As I said in the previous study, what is the intention of your study? What is the purpose of your study should be clearly stated in your research objectives. The research objective should be more specific in case of quantitative research studies. Okay? And more general, broad in case of qualitative research studies. As I said here, whether it's variables or concept, or whether more subjective or objective. So here it depends like what type of study that you are planning, what type of study that you are actually intending for your research. So it should be more in case if you are planning to do a quantitative research. I mean, if you are you are making your mind to conduct a quantitative inquiry. So in that case, your objective again should be very, very specific. If you have something in your mind, for example, what who is studying in Bandara district?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in those kind of studies, no, there can be sometimes you can use qualitative, because to talk to Dalit women's, Dalit girls, or Dalit families, you cannot always quantify their feelings, right? You cannot always quantify their experiences, right? You cannot quantify their daily life world, right? So in those cases, like you'll have to decide what exactly what exact method will give you as much as possible data insights, right? So whether it is qualitative or it is quantitative, so that has to be clear, and then accordingly you will have to frame your research objectives. Should use words such as analyze, examine, then evaluate, explain in case of quantitative studies. And words such as discover, explore, describe. Sometimes describes can also go in quantitative studies as well, but describe, report in case of qualitative studies. Okay? So these kind of adjectives or words should be there in your objectives while writing your objectives. So there are some examples of writing objectives. For example, to describe what factors farmers take into account in making such decisions as whether to adopt a new technology or what crops to grow. Okay? So this is one of the examples. Then second, which is little more specific and more specific to the community as well. To understand the patterns of migration amongst Katkari tribes. Okay? So in case of the first example, the research will end the study by being able to specify factors which emerged in household decisions. So here there is some kind of specificity which is focusing on household decisions. So farmers' family, what kind of decisions that they are taking into account while making or while adopting new technology in agriculture. And in the second objective, it is like getting information about patterns of migration. So maybe patterns of migration could be because of the socio-economic structural challenges amongst the Katkari tribes. It is not just the family, or it is not just the household which is driving, or which is forcing them to migrate to some other place. It can be the particular localities. What are the geographical challenges among in that particular area? Or maybe are there any particular challenges with the tribal communities over there in that particular area? So here there is something which is like you are getting little more broad sense from the community point of view. And in the first objective, you are getting again broad sense only, but from the family point of view, right? So you also have to frame your objectives in such a way, like which statement or which objective will perfectly match to your study. Okay, is this being clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So again, now the third point that we were supposed to talk, that research hypotheses again are very, very important. And again, it depends whether you wanted to use hypothesis in your study or not. Primarily, if you are doing a quantitative study, then definitely you can frame your research hypothesis. But in case of qualitative study, you need not to always have a hypothesis in your study. Okay, so definitely, and if it is a mixed research question, research methodology, then in that case, you may have to frame the research hypothesis. So, but still, hypothesis, like what exactly thesis means, is like hypothesis is a tentative proposition whose validity is unknown. Like you are proposing something which you don't know whether that is the exact reality or not. You don't know, you have not any validity, you have not done any validity about that statement. So you have made a statement which is just the proposition, which is just the tentative statement. Okay, you don't know the validity of that. But to do the validity of that particular statement, you need to do a research. You need to get get in-depth data about that particular thing, so that you can decide or you can validate that particular statement is correct or false. Okay? In most cases, it specifies a relationship between two or more variables. Okay, I will give you some more examples later in the next slides. So hypothesis is written in such a way that it can be proven or disproven by valid and reliable data. Okay, why I'm saying that data is very important, and why I'm saying that data is like your sample size is very important in your research, because your sample size will definitely determine the quality of your data, and whether you should be reliable on that particular sample size or not. So thereby, while choosing a sample also, while choosing the respondents also, you should be definitely very, very clear about it, like what type of respondents would be the best suitable for my study, and on their data I'll be like I can prove or disprove my objectives or my hypothesis. Okay, so a hypothesis is a reasoned but provisional supposition about the relationship between two or more social phenomena, stated in terms that can be empirically tested, and which forms the focus for the research, particularly in quantitative studies. As I said, no, in the qualitative studies, there might, usually people don't use hypothesis, because that is something which is very subjective research. Okay, so hypothesis is a reasoned but provisional supposition. It is provisionally you are saying that like this is what is the scenario in the society, but you don't know the validity of that particular statement. You don't know whether that is correct statement or not. You are just saying that this is the scenario in the society from a layman's point of view. You have not studied that, right? So likewise, for example, one of the studies, let us take an example of that school level study that somebody is doing. Disha, I think. What is your study, Disha?
Study on educational measures required in government schools.
Required, yeah. So that means you are saying that like there are no educational measures, or maybe there are gaps in the educational measures, right?
Yes, sir. Gaps.
You think that like there are a lot of gaps in the educational quality education in government schools, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So this is your broad proposition, right?
Yes, sir.
and you wanted to confirm that whether it is like correct or not.
Yes, sir.
So that is what is your, that is how like you'll have to frame your research hypothesis. So accordingly, this implies to the other studies as well that I have discussed in the previously. So hypothesis is, in the other words, it is a prediction, but involves more than guess. So it is not just the guess, okay? Just like I'm assuming that like this is what is something is the reality over there. But it is kind of a prediction with definitely a good thought process in your mind, a good kind of reading, or good kind of like conceptual clarity in your mind. So you are not just like vaguely making any statement. You are predicting definitely based on giving a good thought in your mind, and then you are kind of making a statement. Most of the time, the hypothesis begins with a question which is then explored through background research. It is only at the point of that researchers begin to develop a testable hypothesis. So what happens? Researchers, what they do, they state something that like this is what is the scenario in the society, and they now wanted to test whether that statement is correct or proven or disproven. Okay? So to form a hypothesis, you should take these steps in your mind. Collect, as I said, आपको हर एक फील्ड में जहां पे भी आप रिसर्च करना चाहते हैं, you definitely have to collect as many as observations about the topic or the problem as you can. आप जो भी टॉपिक स्टडी करना चाहते हैं, आप जो भी प्रॉब्लम स्टडी करना चाहते हैं, या आप जो भी रिसर्च करना चाहते हैं, in that research you definitely have to do a good number of observations, or good number of kind of sometimes readings also, and definitely empirical visits also, field visits also, so that you will definitely get a good perspective from the field, and then accordingly you will be able to frame many more things, not just the hypothesis. Okay? Evaluate these observations and look for possible causes of problem. So once you go to the field, evaluate them, and then try to play with those evaluations. Try to play with your own thoughts and the field realities, and try to connect that with the causes of the problem. Like that can be potential again. That cannot be the exact causes of the problem, but potential or possible causes of the problem. That you can definitely frame while doing many field visits. Okay, create a list of possible explanations that you might want to explore. In like when you frame the objectives, you definitely have to do many explanations that you may wanted to explore in your research. So this is how your hypothesis should be framed. Some examples. This is more related to the students. Students, for example, one of the hypotheses that I have framed here in this slide, that students who attend regular classes get more clarity on the concepts. That is my own observation, right? That is my own understanding. But whether it is true or false, that I can definitely understand when I conduct a proper study, a systematic scientific study only, right? It is not necessarily that those who attend the regular classes are only clear about the concepts. There are some students, those who don't even attend the classes, and more clear than the regular attendees. Is it true?
Yes, sir.
So it can be anything, right? It can be true or false also. So we don't know. We have to prove or disprove this particular statement. I definitely need to do a research, do a scientific research, or do a scientific study about to test this hypothesis. Second one is students, those who perform well in the exams, get good career opportunities in the future. Again, this is very, very tricky objective, right? Hypothesis, right? But is it again always true?
No, sir, it may be sometimes.
हाँ, जिनको अच्छा स्कोर आता है कभी कभी उनको जॉब मिलता भी नहीं है,
Hmm.
और कभी कभी जो बिल्कुल जिनका अच्छा स्कोर नहीं होता है वो फर्स्ट प्लेसमेंट में जाते हैं,
Yes, sir.
right? But this is still, again, both the statements, both the explanations that I have given, no, वो मुझे पता नहीं है, मुझे पता कब हो जाएंगे? When will I understand this? When I will do a proper research, proper study with a good number of sample, right? Third one is, students from rural areas speak less than students from urban areas. Again, this is also something which is just a proposition that I have made. I have made some observations, and I thought that like rural areas students are speaking less than the urban areas students. Again, is this true?
No, sir. मतलब not properly.
Not always, right?
Yes, sir.
There can be so many urban students also, those who are not speaking at all in these classes, and many times rural students are speaking a lot in the classes. So again, here also we are not sure, right? So these are all propositions that I am making based on my generic understanding, general observations in the classrooms. But to get an answers to particular, or I mean to prove or disprove these statements, these hypotheses, I need to conduct a thorough research. Okay. If somebody is doing secondary research, again, hypotheses are optional in secondary research and are mainly used when the study aims to test relationships or differences using existing data. So it is always not necessary to use hypothesis in the secondary research part specifically. In the primary research, definitely you should have hypothesis, so that it is actually ground for your research, or it is again a guideline of your kind of conceptual backup for your research. ठीक है? Now, types of hypothesis. Null hypothesis. When you construct a hypothesis stipulating that there is no difference between two situations, for example, rural and urban, or groups like student groups, male or female, outcomes or prevalence of a condition, a phenomenon, it is called a null hypothesis. If you don't find any kind of difference between all those situations, so then that hypothesis can be called as a null hypothesis. So here, for example, there is no significant difference in the proposition of male and female smokers in the study population. So for example, if I have assumed that females smoke
सर आवाज नहीं आ रहा है।
I think he left.
Hi, hello. Am I audible now? Yeah, my
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
mobile battery got discharged, so I got disconnected. Okay. Okay, just tell me whether the slides are visible to all of you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Visible.
Visible, no? Thank you so much. Okay, so here we were, right? So there is no significant difference in the proposition of male and female smokers in the study population. So, for example, if I have said that or stated that girl students smoke less than male students. Okay, this is my general understanding. But when I do a study, when I conduct a study, and when I see the results, there I find that like there is no difference between the men and male and female girl students, और students नहीं कोई भी हो, मेल एंड फीमेल में कोई डिफरेंस नहीं है. बोथ ऑफ देम आर स्मोकिंग in a similar like frequency or in a similar proportion. Quite possible, right? But what we see in the society sometimes, I mean, definitely it is not true. Again, realistically, it is not true. But ये भी हो सकता है कि there is no difference between male and female smokers in the study population. If your study population is somewhere, अगर वो rural areas में है, तो of course you will find that there are very rare number of females are smoking BDs or cigarettes, whereas males are dominating over there, right? But in the urban areas, in the kind of in the elite localities, in the corporate companies or sectors, you'll find that like there are many female those who are smoking even more than males. So this kind of hypothesis can be proven depending upon the locality of that particular sample population, right? So here you will find that like ये कैसे हो सकता है कि फीमेल एंड मेल आर सेम ही प्रोपोर्शन में पी रहे. आपका अंडरस्टैंडिंग हो सकता है नहीं, बिल्कुल ही नहीं, पॉसिबल ही नहीं. बट इफ आई से दैट इन द कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर, मुंबई के कोई एलिट लोकेलिटी में कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर में जॉब करने वाले बॉयज एंड गर्ल्स या मेल एंड फीमेल्स, एंड देयर आई एम सेइंग मेकिंग दिस स्टेटमेंट, यहाँ पे वो शायद सही भी हो सकता है. ठीक है. Just give me a moment, okay? I'll be back. Okay, so let us get back. So then second one is relational hypothesis. So relational hypothesis is something like you'll have to show a relationship between two variables or two, like situations or two kind of, localities. So when a proposition describes relationship between two variables, it is called a relational hypothesis. So the relationship can be positive correlation or negative correlation. So like for example, families with higher income spend more for recreation, right? Or students from elite backgrounds or elite families are are maybe you can say are more towards addiction or something else. Okay, so there is some relationship between the income and the spending of the population group or of the sample group that you are, whatever sample group that you are selecting. Okay, so these kind of hypotheses that you can definitely frame, or maybe initially you can just say frame your hypothesis in your research study, and then accordingly you can later on kind of see whether they are null hypothesis or proven, disproven, whatever you wanted to play with that particular data. I mean, it is also depend upon the data that you receive and the way you definitely analyze that data. Okay, I think I'm hoping that like it is being clear to all of you. If I may get some responses, would be really great. Swarupa says yes. Subha?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sheetal? Okay. All right. Yeah. So I think here we can probably stop then. If Hemangi ma'am wants to say something or add anything. Dr.
Not
Hemangi?
as such. Anybody has any question, doubt?
Yeah, please ask the questions.
They can ask.
Yeah. I tried to make it more interactive only this time. So that, I'll get some responses. They will also keep sharing there. Yeah.
They'll work on whatever you
So now
discussed.
what I will do, I will share some list of kind of expectations in the next class, and accordingly you all can please work on, and maybe Hemangi ma'am will share that with all of you. I will share some kind of homework to all of you based on what we have discussed today. Will that work, Hemangi ma'am?
Yes. No issue.
Yeah.
As per your, can go ahead as per you feel
So that
better.
we can also take a recap, and you can also like some representative responses can be received from all of you, so that I can also understand whether I'm making sense or not.
As per my understanding, definitely you are making sense.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. But still, like what is there? There can be many concerns as well. So I hope everyone, like whoever names I have taken so far, but those who have not responded, them also please be responsive in the classes, so that you will get more clarity and more kind of like there could be little more understanding also for others as well. Definitely, if you share something, others also will understand from those explanations, or from you also. Like for example, Disha have shared very good research questions. So likewise, if I'm sure that like others also must have framed good research questions, but sharing them would be really the best idea. Okay.
Okay.
Sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, like in my topic, there is a disadvantaged group. So, can I specific it to the EWS or socially marginalized community?
No, I mean, yeah, good that you have brought this point here. Disadvantaged group means like that is also a very vague concept, right? It can be anything. It can be a community, it can be a population group, or it can be a kind of
slum community can be.
Yeah. So what you can do, you can definitely be specific over there, which disadvantaged group you wanted to study.
Okay, sir.
So whether it is if you are saying